There she is. 69 Ford Falcon project. Isn't she beautiful? Oh yeah, I'm loving it. I never get tired of looking at her. Hello everyone, welcome back to Rob's Garage. So I'm Rob, this is my 69 Falcon project and it's new year. This is the 1st of January 2022. And in this episode we're going to continue working on the Falcon project. So we've been working on it for about a year, sort of part-time. And today we're just going to continue on with working on the boot area. So let's take a look at what we're going to have to do today. One of the things I wanted to try was a bit of a sandblasting kit. So this is a cheap one. I don't expect myself to be using this a lot, so I didn't want to spend that much on it. But this should do paint and rust removal, as it says here. So it comes with this little handheld gun. We'll see how it goes, and it comes with a little bit of sand, so I don't need that much. I'll take you to have a look at the boot to see what I actually want to get rid of. Okay, so I can get ready to kind of try to paint this. The main concern I have is in the corner here. You can see in there's just a little bit of like rust build up and stuff. I really just want to blast that bit. It's a bit hard to get in there with a wire wheel and stuff, so that's basically all I'm trying to do on both sides. So let's give that a crack. Okay, so I reckon that kind of worked out pretty well. It makes a hell of a mess. I've never used a sandblaster, but that was pretty funny. You really want to protect your eyes. I used, I can't see them here. Not these goggles. I don't see them, but anyway, you want goggles that cover your whole eyes because this stuff just goes everywhere. It hits your arms. It's hitting everywhere. It goes on your head. It's pretty funny. I mean, it just blasts back, but you can have a look at how it went. So you can kind of see there, it's definitely got out a lot of the crap that was in there that I was a bit concerned about. I don't know if I'm really going to be able to get it much better than that. I think that's probably worth giving maybe a little bit more of a go, but I don't know if we're going to get much better than that anyway. We'll see how we go. We'll have a look at the other side. So this is the other side. This one here was a bit easier to get to, but probably still needs a little bit of work just to clean up any rust stuff. But as you can see, this stuff ends up literally everywhere, like everywhere. It's everywhere. So be prepared to do a bit of cleaning after it. Anyway, let's keep cracking on. Okay, so here we've got the fuel tank out, and what I've actually been doing is just sanding down the paint that is kind of located in the area where the tank is going to sit. So that's just, I thought I'd just rub all that back, clean it all up, did some sort of rust proofing, just rust treatment, and just sort of getting it ready to to paint it with, just got some rattle cans actually. I don't have a good enough compressor to spray it, so I'm just going to do rattle cans for today. Maybe it's something we can fix up again later, but for today we're just going to check out putting some primer on here.
But there's also down here, you can see, maybe a bit hard, it's a little bit pitted along here. So I'm actually going to just give that a bit of a clean, and then maybe you can apply some body filler. We'll sand that, and then we'll prime it, and then we can put some paint on it and see how she looks just straight out of a rattle can. So it is diamond white, so we'll see how it matches. Obviously the paint inside the boot is pretty shit anyway, so it's not going to match all that well, but it'll be better than what was there, which was very dirty and stuff from before. So anyway, let's crack on. Alright, so I don't know how easy you can see that, but it looks like there's a little bit of surface rust starting to build back up on that, so I'm just going to wire wheel that again. I might just put a bit of treatment on it, then we'll clean it up and we'll chuck a bit of body filler over the top of it, but we want to try and make sure that there's no rust deposits in there at all. So I think that's just a bit of surface rust that should come off alright with the wire wheel, so let's go. Alright, I don't know how many times I've done this, but I've been through here a few times, and I'm just doing the last little bit. I've got some rust gel here with a bit of plastic glad wrap on here, just to seal that, and I'm going to clean that off. It's really just to get the last of the little bits of corrosion, if there's any, mainly in the corners. But yeah, I've got to do that, and then we can look at doing some primer. This is all about as clean as I can get it. You can see there's a bit of a dent here, so I'm not going to really worry about that too much. There's just some pitting from some of the rust in that, but I've cleaned that out as best I can. I think that's all good. Here we go. We're going to basically get some body filler now, and we'll put that on there and see how we go, and then we can sand it back.
Alright, one of the things we're going to need is some body filler. So I'm going to use this stuff. I just got it from Super Cheap. I think it's exclusive to those guys, but anyway, we'll try this out. Alright, so I've got our body filler. I'm going to open this up. Alright, so you can see how that is in there. Looks like it needs a little bit of a stir. Alright, and we've got some hardener, so we're just going to give this a good little squeeze. Not sure how much we're going to need. Now, I don't know, they say golf ball, roughly 1 or 2 golf balls, so we'll do a bit of a pea. Let's put it on here. About a pea size hardener. I don't know, maybe that's too much hardener. Then again, it is supposed to go kind of like a pinky colour, but
so we've got some body filler in here. This one here I didn't put as much hardener, so it's taking a little bit longer. This one here put too much hardener, but anyway, most of it's going to come off. I did find a couple of little bits at the back here. There's a couple of little dings. I don't have a hammer and dolly set, so just for now I just filled them up. Maybe next time, I'm pretty sure we'll be back here at some point. We'll do it again.
alright, so while we're waiting for that to dry, I'll just have a quick chat through what I think we need to do over the next 12 months, or what my plan is. And that is primarily all the rust repairs, using my MIG welder, or the TIG option. I'm actually going to have a go at the TIG as well. I just need to get a bottle of argon and work through the areas of the car that need some rust repair. So there is a little bit in the boot. Well, let's have a quick look at that.
Okay, the key areas that are needing repair are going to be around this boot channel section. So it's just going to have to probably cut somewhere around this here, create a little angle and then weld another one in because that's not looking the best, so I'll be looking at that. So this side's going to need something similar. You can see there's rust holes there, so we're going to cut that out as well. Now we can see, I think this window's got to come out. There's a hole in that corner, so that's going to be cut out. So I think this back window, and I think the front window is going to come out. So I think for that I'm just going to call a guy out to pull the windscreen and the rear window out, and I can do all those repairs around the window and all the channels, and we can go to the next steps. There's also a little bit of rust in this corner here, so there's those little bits, but otherwise I think this is mostly okay except for the channels here. Cleaning up this, cutting that out and putting a new piece in. So the more I look at this paint, the more I think probably needs to be resprayed. So I'm not going to be able to afford to take it in and get a panel shop to do it. It's quite expensive. You're looking at 25, 50, 75, up to 100,000 when you include all their labor and all that cost. So that's just not going to happen. So I'm going to do as much of it as I can myself, and I'm contemplating getting a bigger air compressor than what I have now. So the one I've got, and get a bigger one and potentially paint it here in the garage or in a spray booth. Maybe I'll just hire out a spray booth and just do all the door jams and things like that here in the garage and do the rest in a spray booth, and maybe just get someone to do that, just the rest of it. So that's kind of the plan. I'm thinking either keeping it white or switching to a silver. I really like the XW in a silver with the orange stripe. So yeah, that's kind of, I think, what I'm hoping to get out of the next 12 months. All the panels repaired, all the bodywork kind of done, have a go at that, see what I can do. And hopefully there's nothing that's beyond the scope of a DIY having a go and getting all that done. So anyway, let's get back to the Bondo. All right, I'm sitting inside the boot of the XW. Been at this for a little while now, a few hours, just mucking around. So I've sanded off all the body filler. We'll have a look. I feel like there's probably more work to do, but I'm not doing it anymore. This is it. I'm done with it. It's not perfect. I'm all right with it because no one's ever going to see this. The tank's going to be on top of it. And I think it's good enough for me for right now, considering this is not a show car or anything like that. So I think this has been a good learning experience, but let's have a look at that. So as you can see, you know, I've just put a little bit of body filler, just sanded all this back. You know, it's not perfect. You can, you know, I could sit here and get all these little pits and stuff out, but you know what, it'll do. That's basically the filler that's left. It feels pretty good. It'll do. No one's ever going to say there's a few little pinholes, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to leave it. I'm alright with it. I'm just going to paint over it and it's fine. Oh, it's hard work when you're not used to it. So anyway, I'm going to primer it now, and then we can try some of that diamond white and see how closely it matches. Hopefully we've got enough, but at least I want to get it primered. I'm going to tape it all up, grease and wax remover, and then we'll primer it, which is with straight out of a can. That'll do just for this, and then if we need to, we can come back to it another time. If I end up respraying the whole car, but you know, maybe I won't even bother doing this bit again. We'll see. But anyway, it's good fun. It's good fun just learning. You know, this is what it's all about. Having a go, learning, and with that, you take something with it and you get better for next time. So anyway, it probably wasn't the easiest section of car, considering it's got a lot of contours and little grooves and stuff, but I guess it probably doesn't get much worse either. So we'll put that down to experience. Let's go. So I'm just going to start taping this up, but I just noticed there's some scuffs off the grinding wheel I was using. So this has got to be cleaned up. So I've just got a few different sheets of paper. This is, I think, a 180. Then I'll go to a 240, or this is a 120. Then maybe a 240, and then up to I think I've got a 400. So it'll just smooth out this edge. So I'm just going to scuff this up by hand and go from there. All right, now I'm going to switch over to a lighter pad or a lighter grade. We'll go to a 240, and that should smooth these scratches out.
things I'm doing here is just using a little bit of acetone to clean off some tape marks. There's a bit of sticky tape here, which acetone is really good for getting off. But what I noticed is that it's actually the paint starting to come off, and that's basically a good indicator that this is acrylic paint, because when you add a solvent to acrylic, basically the paint comes off. It'll start to come off. So I know that this paintwork on this car is acrylic, not a 2-pack. Alright, so it's the next day. Did manage to get the boot painted. Unfortunately, I didn't quite have enough paint. I only had one can of the diamond white, and I feel like it needs another coat. I probably sprayed it on a little bit thin at the start, and then I actually ran out. So I probably should have been a bit closer in some areas. So I think it needs another can of the diamond white before I can put any clear on it, which is a shame because I actually wanted to finish it off so I can sit the tank back in and get ready for the 9-inch. So anyway, let's have a little look at how it looks right now, and I'll have to order another can. Unfortunately, the guys are away on holidays, being the end of the year or start of the new year, so it's going to take at least another week before I can get another can of that diamond white. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Let's have a look at how it looks right now. Alright, so I'm going to keep this taped up, but you can see I've got the diamond white. So this is just the base coat. Now I did have some clear to go over this, and I was just going to rub that back at the top there. It's kind of looking alright, it's a bit thin here. There's just not quite enough paint on there. I can still see a bit of the undercoat coming through. It definitely needs another can, but it's a lot better than what it was. So that's kind of how it's looking. So there was a bit of a ding there that you can see. I didn't body fill that. I'm not really worried about it. Again, not a show car. It's really about just trying to tidy the car up and get it to a point where we can get it registered. Okay, so it's kind of frustrating that I wasn't able to finish that off. I really had it in my mind to get it done. I just was working away all day yesterday to get that all sanded, get it all prepped, get it painted, and I did have a can of clear coat to go over the top of it. It's just all acrylic. It's just 1K paint, so just out of a spray can. So I think it would have looked all right, especially for the boot. Unfortunately, yeah, I didn't have enough paint. So because I did this practice bit here, hadn't I done that, I probably would have had enough. But anyway, that's how it goes. I'll order another couple of cans of paint and we can just do touch-ups. Obviously there's still some sanding I've got to do on the roof, so there's all those kind of things, but that will be a good test to see how that sort of matches up, which I think it'll look all right. And now I'm going to start looking at next phases of rust repairs. So the next thing that's kind of on my mind is the 9-inch is coming in March. So I'm going to get brand new leaf springs underneath, and my goal is to fix any rust repairs at the back here in the boot section. So any of the sills, I'm going to rub all those back. Let's see what's there. Let's get any kind of repairs done in the boot area around the window here. I'll get someone to come and take this window out, I think. So I can actually do all the repairs around the boot channels mainly. And I think we'll be golden from there, and then we can move on to the next section. So anyway, I'm going to have to wrap this one up here. Wishing you all a good 2022, and we'll see you guys and girls all in the next video. And thanks to everyone who subscribed and watched, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.